Hey guys, welcome back to the TBR Diaries. This is episode 17. Um, Holy crap, 17. And we are just starting the third shelf. So for those that are new here, this is just a little series where I'm working and through and organizing my physical TBR because it's gotten ridiculous and out of control. Um, when I started this series, I only had one bookcase full, and I'm now on just starting the third bookcase for my physical TBR. So I'm now up to over 200 books on my physical TBR waiting to be read. So I thought as I went through them and kind of organized them just to kind of see what I have, that I would share those with you. Yeah, I've been enjoying this. I don't know about you guys. um, but I'm just going to talk about two or three books today. Maybe four. We'll see. See how long I talk about the first three. And then if there's time, I'll talk about a fourth one. Um, but yeah, let's jump right in. So the first book I want to talk about is Incidents Around the House, and this is by Josh Malerman. 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 I think Malerman is how you say that. Um, Apparently, this is the author of Bird Box. Wasn't that some movie they made on Netflix? Anyway, let's talk about this book. Um, so I just want to read you like the first couple sentences on the synopsis. This is a horror story. But it says to 8-year-old Bella, her family is her world. There's mommy, daddy, and grandma Ruth. Dado? Dado. And I'm assuming that's dad though. And grandma Ruth. But there's also other mommy, a malevolent entity who asks her every day, can I go inside your heart? Whew. So this malevolent entity, whew, that's a mouthful to say, starts doing, weird things around the house, and every day is asking this little girl, can I enter your heart? And the little girl keeps saying no. And so the malevolent entity, I'm not going to say that again, um, is doing things around the house to, I guess, scare them and whatnot. Um, this sounds creepy and good. It also kind of sounds like Amityville Horror, that movie. I don't know if that was a book or not before it was made a movie, and then they did a remake of the movie. But yeah, sounds good. Sounds chilling and very horror-like and suspenseful. Um, I just haven't been in the mood for a horror book, so that's why this one is still sitting on my TBR. I think I've said this before. I'm kind of in my romance era right now. So most of the books that I'm choosing to read are in the romance genre. So I'll get to this one when I feel like something other than romance. The next book I want to talk about is Firekeeper's Daughter, and that is by Angeline Boulay. Boulay? Boulay? Not quite sure how to pronounce that. Um, but this was a book that was recommended to me on a post where I was asking people, I wanted to diversify my reading. And so I was asking for some suggestions of either stories that were about other cultures, or right books that were written by people of color, or where people of color were the predominant and main characters. So that's where this recommendation came from. And it sounds like, so I kind of read the synopsis of the story, and we have a young woman who doesn't quite fit in. She is part of a Native American tribe, um, but doesn't really fit in with her community or the home, right? Her hometown where they're from. Um, she wants to go to college, but then something happens, and it looks like she has to stay home and take care of her mother. She ends up witnessing a murder. And so the FBI, which gets her on the FBI's radar, and she goes undercover to try to help them figure out, like, I guess, who's killing people. Um, Yeah, so a little bit of a mystery thriller kind of book with, it sounds like maybe a little romance side story. I don't know. I don't know, but it sounds good. And I mean, my God, y'all, look at the cover. That is just beautiful. So I'm actually really excited to get to this book, because I want to diversify my reading, and I always love reading about other cultures and kind of some of the hardships that they've had to deal with and gone through. Um, but yeah, because it's not a romance, I've kind of not picked it up, but it's definitely on the radar, and it's definitely one that I want to get to. Um, and again, it's gorgeous. Just saying. The next book I want to talk about is the Jasad Heir. And I don't know if this is Jasad or Hassad. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce the J in this one. Um, and it's by Sarah Hashim, maybe is how I say that. And apparently, this is her debut novel, and it is book one in the Scorched Throne series. And so we have our FMC, whose kingdom has basically been burned to the ground and taken from her. Um, but she escapes and is in hiding. Um, she ends up revealing her magic to her greatest enemy. And so they end up having to become partners to work together, all while still trying to hide her identity and who she really is. Um, there's a lovers to enemies, enemies to lovers arc here as well. So it sounds good. I've heard good things about this book, and yeah, I want to get to this one. It's just I just haven't. I don't know why, but I feel like this is one that maybe I should be bumping up the TBR, because the I haven't seen a lot about it on this app, but I have seen some, and what I've seen is positive and good. So that makes me want to read it more. And then the last book that I want to talk about is Immortal Dark, and that is by y'all. It's by that author. I don't even want to butcher their name. I don't even want to try. This is a dark academia book, with vampires, and that is all I know about it. I have heard good things about it, so I'm excited to get to it. I don't know if there's a romance piece to this. I usually assume there is. Um, but who knows? I don't really know what this book is about, other than it's dark academia and there's vampires. Um, but it's pretty. It's got the sprayed edges. And if we look at the naked book is this beautiful black with the red foil. And then on the inside, so it's a beautiful book. I just haven't gotten around to it. But yeah, those are the 4 books that I wanted to talk about today. If you've read any of them, let me know down in the comments. Should I bump any of them up the list? Should I bump some of them down the list? I always love hearing your guys' feedback.